Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. I just want to say first things first, thank you to everyone that came out to yesterday's stream. It was insane. We had a ton of laughs, a ton of fun. So many people showed up. The viewer games were so much fun. It was just overall such a cool experience to do, and it was such a good feeling to finally get a hold of XDefiant and kind of get a hands-on and play it with you guys, just to make different content than just talking. But today is Judgment Day for XDefiant. I'm going to give my true honest review after sinking about 9 hours into the game total yesterday. I can kind of give my thoughts on where this playtest is kind of standing, where we go from here, when a release date might happen, and just what I think overall of the game. So if you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like and subscribe. It means the world to me. We upload almost every single day here on the channel. And with that being said, guys, let's hop into today's discussion. So first things first, I'm going to start by saying this, that I think XDefiant has the potential to be a very, very successful game in a landscape of video games that right now is struggling, and that is the arcade FPS side of things, as well as the competitive FPS side of things. I think that this game has the utmost potential of any video game out there, especially after things we've seen yesterday. But I want to clarify this before we hop into any of the issues, bugs, anything like that that we realized and saw yesterday. From what I understand, this was a server stress test overall. The goal of this was to stress the servers out. It was so that we could flood the servers and give them enough information so they can understand how the servers need to operate with mass amounts of people online at one time. Now, going into this playtest, I did have expectations set that we might see some new stuff, at least feel the new netcode and stuff like that. But upon playing the game, I could be 100% wrong in this, I don't know. I would love for someone to confirm this at XDefiant, but it felt that the netcode was not any worse, but not any better. We were kind of in the same exact point that we were in previous times. If you guys don't know what the netcode is, that's basically what makes the game run. That's the hit detection, the movement, everything, all of that around walls, anything like that is what has to do with the netcode. It basically just makes the game operate. And I have to say, there was a ton of desync at times. There was a ton of times where you would sink a mag into one person and then they would kill you in 2 to 3 bullets. But my biggest thing, I said this on stream quite a bit yesterday, and I know you guys have probably heard it if you were there, is do not go into a play test with expectations of a polished game and comparing and contrasting to games that are full releases. And what I mean by that is you have games like Call of Duty and other games that are finished games, well, at whatever point you consider them finished. If you go in with the expectation in mind of them being just like that game, well, you're definitely not going to enjoy the experience. I think I can kind of tone myself back from that a little bit because I have been through playtests with this game for years. Whether it was in NDA, whether it was full releases of betas, whatever it was, I have been in playtests and have seen this game through its worst of times, all the way up to delays to where we are now, hoping that a release date comes soon. So for me, it's not hard for me to disengage myself from the idea that this is not a full release title and that it's actually just a playtest that I'm playing. But for many others, this might have been an awful experience. This might have been an okay experience. This might have been one of the best games you've ever played. But I just want to remind you all to take it with a grain of salt, because what we're playing now is definitely not and will not be the final build of the game that we see come later at whatever point that does happen. Now, I do know myself and many others included are a little annoyed because we've had years of delay and not a lot of communication, and then this is the product we're given. But like I said, take it with a grain of salt. Now, hopping into the issues that I saw yesterday, we'll start out with what I experienced myself. Well, the first thing was, if you guys were in the stream, I was losing my mind because my controller would not connect due to my foot pedal that I mute in Discord with. I didn't know that, and then a clutch person named Michael came in, and Michael, if you're seeing this, I love you. I appreciate you, and you saved the stream yesterday, in my opinion. So, unplugging my foot pedal actually ended up making my controller work. That issue was resolved. From there on out, I have never once in my entire time playing, and we'll find out later today as I'm streaming, have not had a error code of any sort, whether it's Bravo, Mike, Charlie, or anything of the sort. Many people receive that, and we'll talk about that in a second, but I didn't get an error code all day, didn't disconnect from any lobbies. The only thing I did notice was ping was quite high for a server test, and I seemed to be sitting around 50 ping all day long or above, which was kind of weird. It seemed like I was pinging EU servers, or maybe just, I don't know, just seemed very odd when we would hit those high hundreds. But the game that we're playing is very dedicated on connection, you could tell, and that the connection there was just It was not the best because of those high ping moments. Desync was my biggest issue. Bullets not registering, maybe bullets registering on my end but not theirs, dying around walls and stuff like that, which were issues in the past that just kind of suck now, and I kind of felt that exact same experience, so hopefully that's something that transitions and is an easy fix for them to move over. But overall for me, game breaking wise, nothing really affected my game at all. Moving along, one thing that was addressed that I didn't witness as much as one of my friends that I could genuinely make a montage in the stream was losing their mind over is the invisibility exploit or glitch or whatever it was yesterday with the one intel faction or the echelon character that you could have the ghillie suit and you disappeared forever. And I mean forever. You were invisible the whole game. My one friend saw that throughout his entire match with multiple players. It was pretty crazy. They ended up disabling that later in the night, so something that they obviously were aware of. They also patched one of the Mike or Bravo error codes. Don't even know exactly which one, but one I didn't run into. Now, people in chat, when they were on console, PC, whatever it might be, I heard a little bit of here and there of different things. There were issues with error codes galore over on PlayStation and Xbox from what I was told. Server-side issues, which is good to know that server-side issues happened. I know it sucks that you didn't get to play as much, but that's the point of this test, was to test things on the server. But other than that, there was nothing that I was told other than desync and hit detection that was truly game-breaking. Now, were there things people didn't like? Yeah, but were these things that are going to delay a release? Not that I think of. But for me, I'm going to give my positives real quick before I jump into what might be negatives for others. And it's that of the movement system, the gunplay, the maps. All of them, fantastic. Some people said the movement felt clunky and all sorts of stuff. I think the movement felt great. Maybe speed it up a little bit. I know Aches posted that the crouch spamming thing is not in the game right now. There's no penalty for it. So that's going to be abused a little bit more than normal. But overall, the movement for me is fluid, it's fun, it's floaty, it is unique. And that's the thing I said yesterday on stream so much, is we need to stop tying this into other games' movement systems. It's its own game. We need to let it do its own thing, marinate as its own thing, and get used to that. Now, the weapons, the gunplay, the sounds, all of that, amazing. Footstep audio, amazing. I mean, we need to bring whatever developer makes this footstep audio for Ubisoft, they need to patent him and sell him as just a course to every development studio that has footstep audio in the world, because the footstep audio in XDefiant is phenomenal. I've already said the map design is fantastic. They haven't changed much. There were little things that I noticed on some maps that looked like they changed a little bit graphically and kind of avenues of like flanks and stuff, but the maps, they play great, they look great. That's one of my favorite parts of XDefiant. And honestly, the overall core gameplay and the mechanics of all that, besides the hit detection and the desync, is good. It's really good, and it has the base to be a very, very good game. You could say I'm glazing, you could say I'm sucking the boot of XDefiant right now, but I'm giving my true honest feedback and opinions of how I felt yesterday playing for 9 hours and getting on today playing for a couple more just to sink my teeth in and get some gameplays for you guys. So XDefiant overall for me, big thumbs up. I think it's got great potential. I think that the errors that people received are things that they're going to easily fix. The biggest issue for everyone is the hit detection and the netcode, and if that is fixed and figured out, I think XDefiant is rolling in to a successful launch at some point in the upcoming months. And I'm going to be honest, when it comes to a release date, I'm a firm believer that they could release this thing in May with updates in a preseason and be fine, and think the game would have a good player base. People think the opposite of that, but for me, I think they could truly just hop into a May release, whether it's the middle of May, early May, whatever it might be, as an early access game and a Season 0. Give it 6 weeks of updates for Season 1 to be their most polished season to start, and genuinely roll out the game with no issues. Other people, they might not agree with that. They might think it needs to be a fully polished game at launch. That is whatever they think they think. I know people will play it no matter what. It is a free-to-play game in the Ubisoft universe. People are going to gravitate towards it just like they did this weekend. And I think that's something that they need to take into consideration, is that the game could launch as an early access in a quote-unquote early access title in Season 0. And I think the preseason would be a perfect time to do those updates, get feedback from the community, and all sorts of stuff like that. But if not, if we're looking at launching Season 0 as a almost fully polished game, I think June is the month to look forward to. I know that sucks to say. Kind of sucks for me too, because my wedding is that month. So if we're going to do June, if you're listening to this at XDefiant, please do early June. Do not do the end of June. Please just do the early June, because I then have to go on vacation right after my wedding in July. So we're going to launch. Give me at least 2 weeks with the game so I can make a ton of videos leading up to the next season. But nonetheless, guys, I hope you guys enjoy this kind of review. It's truly a my opinion review, if anything, but you guys showed so much support yesterday in the streams. I figured I would give you guys a nice little update. If you guys are watching this early enough, I might still be live here on YouTube. So if you guys want to come over and check it out, you guys can come hang out and chat and stuff. I would appreciate it. We're playing XDefiant for a good bit of the morning into the afternoon today. So I love you guys to death. Appreciate all love and support here recently on the channel. You guys are beautiful, one of a kind. And until next time, guys, deuces, boys.